I'll admit it. I was wrong on the 2025 Seattle Seahawks. I thought they were going to get worse. I thought moving off Geno Smith for Sam Darnold was a mistake. I thought their offense line wouldn't be all that they just had so many holes, and overall, it was fine. They were kind of headed towards a rebuild in my mind. Then I watched the season, and within the first 4 weeks, I realized you're way off. And then by mid-season, they were my Super Bowl pick. And then at the end of the season, they won the whole thing. Now, why is that? Well, quite simply, Sam Darnold was the Sam Darnold we saw at Minnesota. The offensive line was protecting and keeping him upright. Jackson Smith and Njigba became one of the best wide receivers in the NFL, and that defense became a unit of killers, just seeking and destroying everything they saw. And Mike McDonald proved that he is one of the next rising head coaches in the NFL. And that led all to the one question. As good as they were last year, winning the Super Bowl, being the best team in the NFL, are they good enough to do it again? Maybe exercise some demons of the last time they appeared in the Super Bowl, back-to-back years, losing in such a close fashion. Can they get back there? Can they give those fans the moment they thought they had after that Jermaine Kearse catch down the sideline? Or are they just a really good team that's not able to fully defend their crown, but going to bring everyone to hell to make sure that they have to earn their crown? There's not really a whole lot to talk about in free agency for the Seahawks, as they didn't make a big move bringing someone in, but they did lose talent. Boy Mafe went to the Bengals. Kenneth Walker went to the Chiefs, and you could argue that's a big loss. I think it's a lot easier to overcome a running back leaving than other positions. Overall, very good move not paying him $14 million a year considering his injury history. Losing Kobe Bryant, I'm sure, hurts a lot. He was an excellent safety for this team, was a great pairing just in that secondary in general. But overall, losing him shouldn't hurt all that much. And Reek Wallen was kind of falling out of favor with the coaching staff in general, so I really don't think that's a major loss. They kept Raheed Shaheed, who was a dynamic return man and special teamer for the Seahawks, as well as a tremendous deep threat for Sam Darnold to connect with. Overall, very interested to see how he does this year, especially in a receiver room that's getting Torrey Horton back, who I loved his draft year and I think was really, really good before he got injured. Josh Jobe, retaining him was overall good. They just didn't go out and add a lot of people, but they didn't need to. They kept guys they needed to, and they're going to get some compensatory picks for next year as well to really repile depth in this roster. The Seahawks draft was very mixed for me, as in a lot of the players they did take, I did like, but there's just a stretch of players I just didn't watch in general, so it's hard for me to really grade out this draft class. So to just get out of the way, the guys I didn't watch a whole bunch of were Andre Fuller, Devin Eastern, Michael Dansby, and from what I saw of Emmanuel Henderson Jr., it was when I watched Kansas games live. I didn't watch his film at all. With what I did see for him, though, was just a speed threat. I wonder if he's just a special teams type pick. But overall, I can't really comment too much on those players. Now, looking at the other four, I really loved Bo Stevens. Bo Stevens, to me, was actually the better Iowa guards player in this draft, considering, and I'm comparing Dunker here, who my Steelers took, who I did not like. Bo Stevens, to me, was just stronger at the point of attack. He felt like he had a better base, could stay upright, was better in pass pro. And I know Iowa didn't pass a lot. He looked a lot better than Dunker. And I think that's a big thing when you compare the Seahawks got him in the 5th round compared to a Steelers team taking him in the 3rd round. Just good value, good job by John Schneider. What a shock. He knows what he's doing. Julian Neal. This was a corner that I very much liked. He was a 5th-year corner, and he was a press man corner who I thought he needed to get some ready. He's not fully there yet. He has the tools, though, you really like. He's got the ability to play on Sundays at some point. But, man, I loved him in zone coverage. Now, I think a big part of the reason why he was so good in zone coverage is because He is a lengthy boy. He is long. He is dingly. He will be able to get to the ball, make plays on it, go over people. He is almost a Pete Carroll-esque corner. He is 6'1", 5'8", and had 32 3/4 inch arms. He's long, he's lengthy, and he knows how to utilize it, which I think is very, very good. Overall, excited to see him in the Seahawks defense. Bud Clark is probably the Seahawks pick that they made that I actually watched, and I was the least interested in. Just because I wasn't his, biggest fan during the draft process. I thought he was good technically, but I just don't think he's got that wow pop that I really want to see from a safety that I'm drafting in the second round. To me, he was a third to fourth round pick type guy, and just someone that, he can fill in the rushing lanes, he can play downhill, he can trigger downhill, and he's got good technique. I'm not taking that away from him, but then you watch him and you oftentimes think, is he quick enough? Is he athletic enough to play at the NFL level at a good level? And I just don't know. He's technically sound, but that's kind of it. Jadarian Price, though. Jadarian Price, I am very anti-drafting running backs round one. But the Seahawks have a weird scenario here. Their team is roughly loaded. Their biggest weakness was running back. And this draft doesn't really have that, high-end talent. So I'm a bit more forgiving than I would be in years past. I can't say I'm still the biggest fan of it because running back should not be drafted round one. That includes every running back, in my opinion, not just the guys at the back half of the first round. I think the Cardinals were very stupid with what they did. But Price, I think, can come in. He can play the system really well. He's a good running back, got good contact balance, got good burst overall. He will probably produce at a very high level and is honestly my pick to be the best rookie running back in this draft class this year at a production level, just because I think the offensive line plays to his strengths really, really well. He has a actual offense that can really take pressure away from him, can lessen the box compared to you look at the Cardinals who have Jeremiah Love, where it's just going to be, let's load the box every single play. Price doesn't have to deal with that, and nor does really any other rookie running back outside of Jeremiah Love this year. But he's just got the ability to really pop at the next level. He was only a backup because Jeremiah Love was a special talent. If he went anywhere else and he could have transferred anywhere else, he would have been the number one back. He would have been a lead back and probably could have gone higher in this past draft class. But he chose to compete. He chose to stay, which I think screams to the mentality that the Seahawks are drafting there, that he's not afraid of the competition. He's ready to go for it. And with how the Seahawks play football, that's their type of running back they want. When it comes to making a season prediction for the Seattle Seahawks, it's very, very weird for me because I know this team is great. They're one of the biggest contenders in the NFL. They're one of the best teams in the NFC, but I might have them second place in their division just because the Rams have built the Death Star of all Death Stars for a football team, and they might be getting Aaron Donald back, which is just terrifying. And I look at the Seahawks as the team that, man, I just don't think they're going to have much issues. Like Clint Kubiak. Here's something. I've never been his biggest fan. I'm still honestly not. I don't really think there's going to be that big of a downgrade, or if any at all, with the offensive coordinator change. The defense should be the exact same, which is seeking and destroying. The offensive line is really good. They're probably going to replace Anthony Bradford, which, I mean, hey, that's an addition. And just, this team is still, really, really good. I don't get all the talk, and this is being recorded, right before training camp starts, and I'm seeing all these predictions of, oh, the Seahawks are a 6 to 7 to 8 to 9 win team, and I just look at them unless they have, the injury report that's just long, they're out of their freaking minds. This team is loaded with talent. They have one of the best cornerbacks in the NFL in Witherspoon. They have one of the best young safeties in the NFL in Nick Emmanuel. They have a dynamic edge rushing rotation that can get after a quarterback. They have it all on defense. And they have the defensive mastermind to really capitalize on all of that. Then you look at offense. Sam Darnold, I mean, we got to start giving him the credit he deserves. It's not just, well, he had that one year. Well, it's this, it's that. He had back-to-back years where he was awesome. When he was starting in Carolina, they won football games. He is a winner, but he just didn't win with the Jets, so we all just kind of write him off every year. And then during the season, this Sam Darnold surprising people. When are we going to admit he's probably a top 10 quarterback in the NFL? And I know the other point is they're losing Kenneth Walker. I'm sorry. Kenneth Walker is not a major loss. He was very, very awesome in the playoff run. Absolutely. I'm not taking that away from him. But the Seahawks, ran a rotation for the majority of last season and kept him healthy because they knew they couldn't rely on Kenneth Walker to stay healthy if they were to give him a major workload. Zach Charbonnet, he's coming back off a torn ACL. It will be very crucial for them how soon he comes back, but also Jadarian Price is a really good player, and I wouldn't be shocked if he has a better season than Kenneth Walker. Now, is that mainly because I think Kenneth Walker is going to a worse offensive line than with what Jadarian Price can have? Absolutely. But that doesn't change the fact I think Price can put up better numbers than Kenneth Walker. And then we just look at this team in general. The receiving core is stacked. I am to the point trying to figure out how am I going to get my Torrey Horton on the field. I was such a gigantic fan of him his draft year. Last year, I was hyping him up. My dad, who's a diehard Seahawks fan, I was telling him, man, you're going to love Horton. You're going to love Horton. Then he plays. He's awesome. Then he gets hurt, and they get Raheem Shaheed, who I was lower on, to be completely honest, but has fit in perfectly with this offense and is a dynamic returner. But you also have Jackson Smith and Jigba. You also have Cooper Kupp. When are you going to get Torrey Horton on the field is my question, because I want him playing football because he's awesome. Like, this team is loaded to the point you also look at the fact they have a top 10 tight end in the NFL in A.J. Barner. They have talent everywhere. This is not the type of team that just all of a sudden falls off a cliff. No, their coach is elite. This isn't the Eagles where we are questioning Nick Sirianni. They have the roster to compete. They have everything. As long as they stay healthy, which is any team in the NFL, if the Rams suffer major injuries, they're not making the playoffs. If the 49ers suffer major injuries, they might, because they have some weird thing that goes on that they know how to deal with it. The Eagles suffer major injuries, they're not making the playoffs. Teams who suffer major injuries rarely make the playoffs. That's not a reason to look at the Seahawks and think they're going to underachieve this year because I can't be wrong back-to-back years. I was wrong. I admit it. I see my mistakes, and I'm going to correct them and say this is a Super Bowl contender this season.